If I tell you that you and I are the same, would you believe me? I guess not, right? For we don't look alike, sound alike, move alike. I may not even know you. But believe me when I tell you that you and I are actually quite the same. Have you ever faced a difficulty in this lifetime that caught you right in the face, but you still chose to bounce back? Have you ever failed in life and decided, guess what? I will try again? Have you ever lost all hope but still managed to fight back and wreak havoc? If you answered yes to all of these questions, let me tell you this. You and I have something in common. Aside from being conquerors, one word that could define us is resilient. And by that, my dear friend, we are no different. We are both quite the same. Ladies and gentlemen, is there ever a day in your life wherein you felt like there is no bad day that could ever top this one? Think about that and gather all those days, all those negative feelings, and try to imagine what it's like to feel all those sorts of pain in just one single day. Quite a torture, right? But for me, I no longer need to imagine because that is what I felt when I lost my uncle in the battle with COVID-19. I remember the day vividly. It was 10 a.m. I am in my class when I received a phone call from my aunt. She rarely calls, so I knew something was off. Then I heard the news, and a sudden jolt of pain seeped into my core. I was frozen off my feet, unable to locate the emotions that enabled me to feel. When it all happened, I walked through every pathway of sadness. I hid into every corner of despair. And in that lowest moment, I also came face to face with resilience. Let me make this clear. The pain is still here. It's so alive that I can almost touch it and feel it from time to time again. But each time is quite different. Something's different, for I am different. The pain changed me. It molded me. It made me live through it. Resilience has served as my umbrella as I swiveled and danced through the rain of my tears and grief. It was my torch that served as a source of light as I was stuck in the pit of the night. But it was no cure, not a potion that can eradicate every bit of our unwanted emotions. Nevertheless, it is a band-aid that kisses your wound, that covers your scars, and something that will be with you as you embrace healing and welcome acceptance. When you rip it off your skin, there will be a scar that will remind you of your resilience. So, if you ever felt the same, then you and I are no different. Once in our life, we experience loss, and this pandemic brought us quite a number of those. But with every single loss that slips through our finger, we gain something far greater in return. When we lose opportunities, we gain the strength and get to receive better ones. When we get defeated and break down, we find avenues for our breakthroughs to take part. When we lose our faith, we gain miracles that bring us back to our senses. And when we lose as a Filipino, the whole country is with us to support. Beyond courage, strength, and compassion, one thing that us Filipinos will never lose is our resilience. Our country faced far more than a pandemic. We face almost 20 powerful storms each year, as we are labeled as the most storm-exposed country in the world. We battle eye to eye with earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, wars, and even political and economic upheavals. Yet, we have always recovered and risen back together as one nation. COVID-19 bewildered our lives and put it out of proportion. Doubts, fear, and anger overtake our wholeness. But just like what my dad always says, if you are given a problem, you get the choice to either blame your way through it or pick up yourself and solve it. And I choose the latter. For today, we need no division. We don't need to focus on the bad, but instead appreciate the good. for no one ever wished for this to happen. We are together through this suffering. This is not the time to point fingers, but instead, extend hands and save those who are in a breakup situation. Ladies and gentlemen, as human beings, we focus a lot on our differences. But what about we start to focus on what makes us all the same? At the end of the day, we are humans. You and I, we hurt, we bleed, we suffer. But we also rise, we conquer, and we survive. Our resiliency is our invisible force that makes us both vulnerable but also invincible. As we look forward for each day, let's use our distance and make it a tool. As we gather our voices, for even when we are not together, we are one in prayer. We may not be in sight, but we stand with a purpose. We may not be powerful alone, but if we stand as a nation, there will be nothing we can conquer. One day, friends, when all of this comes to an end, I will tell you, we will be the same again. I assure you on that day, we will all have the smiles and tears on our faces, for we have been victorious on the greatest fight human race ever faced. With resiliency as our weapon, COVID-19 will just be another battle in history we have won. And by that again, you and I are quite the same.